Hello and welcome to Senior Sunday Snack. I'm Michael and we've got a whole bunch of Lego and we've also got a little bit of bread, which we'll get to later. So today we are in Acts chapter 6, and what we're going to do is we're going to tell a story and then we're going to think about what it means for us, and then we're going to have two little challenges for you guys to do at home. So first of all, the story. Now we're continuing from the Senior Sunday Snack we started last week. Now last week we saw that Jesus had made the promise to grow his church, and it was growing and it was growing, and more people were believing in Jesus. But with this came some challenges. Now last week we saw how God's rulers were almost put in prison for preaching about Jesus, but Jesus used that to grow the church all the more. So what will the challenge be today? Well, the challenge for today is actually, what about food? I've got some bread here that I actually made. It's all about food. And the challenge was being distracted from the main thing, which was preaching about Jesus. So Jesus' church had one big focus, one big thing they wanted to do. They wanted to trust Jesus as he grew his church. But now, there were some people in the church who were starving, who were hungry. And the church loved people just like Jesus did. And not the main thing, but some of the second and third things that they did was they looked after people. So they made sure that food was handed out for those in need. There's some food, there's some food, there's some food. But there was a group of old ladies whose husbands had died, widows, and they came saying, they're skipping us. We're not getting the food that we need. And so this was reported to the guys in charge. And the guys in charge of the church were the apostles. Those were the 12 men that Jesus had left, his 12 disciples. And they were busy doing two things. They were preaching. Here's this guy. They were preaching about Jesus, and they were praying. They were praying. Those are the two big things that they were doing. But now, here's this problem. The problem is people are not getting the food that they should be getting. The people who are handing out the food weren't doing it right. And so some people were left and they didn't have any food. So this is the second challenge that they faced. The first one was being locked in prison. Now they're facing the challenge of how do we look after the people in the church without losing focus of the main thing. The main thing, which is preaching and growing Jesus' church. That's the main thing. Looking after people is a second or a third thing, and it's important, but we don't want to get distracted from the main thing that the church does, which is preaching about Jesus. So what are they going to do? What are they going to do? They said it's not good for us to stop preaching and stop praying, to wait on tables, to feed people. So instead, we want to love people, and we want to work as a church. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get 7 oaks. I've just got two oaks here. We're going to get 7 oaks, and their job is going to be to hand out the food and make sure that everybody gets the food that they should get, so that everybody is looked after and there's nobody who still needs. That was these 7 men's job, and that's what they did. And that's what they did. So instead of getting distracted from the main thing, which is preaching about Jesus, they shared the jobs amongst the church so that all the jobs were done and the main thing stayed the main thing, which was talking about Jesus. And so that's how they overcame this challenge that arose. The challenge of getting distracted from the main thing of talking about Jesus. And do you know what happened? Do you know what happened? As they did this, as they put some men in charge, you look after the people who need food, we're going to look after preaching and praying, as they worked together as the church to love people and to keep preaching. Do you know what happened? More and more people believed in Jesus. The church grew. Jesus kept his promise to grow his church. And so by everybody in the church working together to keep the main thing, but also to look after the needs of the church, that actually grew the church. And so that's what we want to be doing at Christ Church North Coast as well. We want to keep the main thing, which is preaching about Jesus. But we also want to work together to make sure that those who need food get food. Those who need some money get some money. We look after each other according to the gifts that God has given us. So that's the story. That's what happened in Acts. Now we want to think about, what does this mean for us today. And so I've got 2 challenges for you guys. Now last week I challenged you guys to write down the names of 10 people that you were going to pray, 10 people that you were going to pray for or invite to church or WhatsApp or send the links to 10 people that you as a family were going to specifically focus on sharing the good news about Jesus with. So my first challenge is keep doing that, because remember, that's the main thing. That's the main thing. We want to keep the main thing the main thing. Keep doing that. Get that list or write it down again and keep praying for them. Keep sending the sermon link to them. Keep phoning them, asking them how they're doing. That's the first challenge. Keep going with those 10 people. Keep telling them and focusing on telling them about Jesus. And the second thing you can do is, how can you as a family help the church look after people? That's the second challenge. We want to keep the main thing, but we also want to use our gifts. So the second challenge, which you guys can chat about at home, is how can you as a family help the church? Maybe you can write music. Maybe you can give some food. Maybe you can help with computer stuff. Maybe you can pray for people. You all have a way that you can help the church. So that's the second challenge. Well, awesome guys. Thanks so much for joining me and my Lego and my bread for another Senior Sunday Snack. If you want to see some more of our videos, you can find Senior Sunday Snacks over here. And if you want to see our Wacky Wednesday videos, you can see them over there. That's all from me, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday for Wacky Wednesday. Cheers. See you guys.